In goes Stewart! They've only gone and done it! It is level on aggregate! 3 minutes to go, and Yeovil have pulled it out of the fire!
He runs up right-footed, save! And it's Crook! Alexandra the Great! They've done it in the most unlikely circumstances.
See it across Patterson, first attempt blocked, second attempt isn't! Patterson pokes it home for Sheffield Wednesday. And Hillsborough is rocking. Our seats are rocking. The City of Steel is rocking. It's Sheffield Wednesday 5, Peterborough 5, and this game just does not stop giving.
How good is football?
Well, if that package doesn't give listening MK Dons fans hope, nothing will. There have been some extraordinary comebacks in recent seasons in the EFL playoffs. The home side need another this evening. 3-0 down, remember, from the first leg on Tuesday. The two teams have just come out onto the pitch in front of us. I'm pleased to say that some of those empty seats have begun to fill. What will be the message, Adrian Clarke, from Scott Lindsay, the Crawley manager? Because it's an unusual position and probably one that he didn't dream of before the first game.
Yeah, it's a strange situation. I think he will look to keep the ball. They're a very high possession side anyway, but he'll say, look, let's take the sting out of the game. That's the best form of defence. Let's look after the ball, keep it away from MK Dons, because they can't score if they haven't got the ball, and they're superb at keeping it, Crawley. And that'll be one part of his message. I think he'll also try to make them feel as if it's still 0-0. Because if you go in with the mentality that we've got 3 goals to protect, I think that's a little bit dodgy. I think that players can get into a negative mindset. So no, psychologically, he'd have had to have worked quite hard, I think, Scott Lindsay, to get the players settled down and fully focused on the job in hand. It's easy for Mike Williamson. Just go for it, lads. Don't hold back.
It's interesting, just looking up the Crawley fans in the top tier away to our left here at Stadium MK, which is a bowl of an arena. There's segregation between the two banks of Crawley supporters. What's the thinking behind that?
I don't know. I'm assuming it's to take something away.
Try and stifle the atmosphere.
Yeah, to try and take something away. I mean, I don't like that, I've got to say. There's plenty of room in this ground for them to be together. And
to be probably a bit lower towards the pitch. That bottom tier is completely empty.
I personally think in all levels of football, it should be compulsory to put away fans in the lower tier of the stadium, because they play, they give a lot of colour to the game. Newcastle, for example, sticking the away fans up in the gods, it's a real disadvantage. So I think there should be a stipulation, but I don't suppose that'll happen.
You're listening to the EFL League 2 on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the McDonald's app and get tasty rewards points. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. Well, we saw a miracle comeback in the League One semi-final from Sheffield Wednesday after losing the first leg against Peterborough 4-0 a year ago. Crew Alexandra came back from 2-0 down to beat Doncaster on penalties only last night, live on Talksport 2. Can MK Dons produce another miracle here tonight? We are off and underway. The home side all in white, attacking the goal away to our left. Crawley Town are wearing all red, shooting from left to right, and straight away the combative Liam Kelly, scorer of the opening goal, finally worked opening goal on Tuesday, gives away a free kick, and there's a chance here for MK Dons to send the likes of O'Hora and Dan Harvey forward to try and attack the set piece.
Yes, really interesting to see how high the line is being held by Crawley Town. Look, they're about 15 yards away from where the ball is being struck. They are way outside their own box here.
It's taken short over on the right hand side. There are a cluster of 4 shirts in the centre, and it's a deep cross towards the far post over the head of Jack Tucker, who come forward, but it was good play by Lofthouse, the right wing back. Powerful burst over on that far touchline, and not a terrible ball in.
No, definitely not. No, he came on, didn't he, the other night and elevated the team a little bit. So not surprised to see him come in for Cameron Norman. They've got 2 really good wing backs. Joe Tomlinson on this left hand side has a terrific record this season. 7 goals, 6 assists for him. So I think they've got a big part to play. They want to make the pitch as big as they possibly can, MK Dons, and that means I think the wing backs will see plenty of the ball.
A real carnival atmosphere being whipped up by those fans behind Philip Marshall's goal. At the big talking point from Mike Williamson's team selection, signed on loan from Aston Villa in January. Actually played one European game for Villa this season, hasn't played for Milton Keynes since a mistake in a game against Notts County way back at the start of April, but he gets the nod tonight ahead of Michael Kelly, the regular number one. Big call from Mike Williamson in his grey hoodie, just a few yards in front of us here at Stadium MK. The ball is at the feet of Marshall, all in yellow, and he plays it out to the edge of the penalty area. And O'Hora, three Crawley players immediately pressing high.
Yeah, well, they're going to, aren't they? I think they should. They know that MK Dons were very edgy. One mistake, playing out from the back like this.
Oh, and Tucker has passed it straight to Jay Williams. Williams with a shot into the bottom corner. And Crawley have the early goal that may just have sealed their first ever visit to Wembley. An absolute catastrophe from Milton Keynes as they were trying to play their way out from the back. And the standing goalkeeper is beaten inside 3 minutes. He'd only scored one goal all season before Tuesday night, Jay Williams. He's got 2 in 2, and Crawley Town can see the Wembley arch in their sights. MK Dons 0, Crawley 1, 4-0 on aggregate.
That is a disaster for MK Dons. Trying to play out from the back, overplaying. It's a silly ball, it's a square ball, it's a straight ball from the defender, I think O'Hora, into Alex Gilby, who's come very deep. It's intercepted, and Williams just strokes it past the goalkeeper. I think it's a feeble shot, if I'm being honest. It's a really weak effort, and it dribbles into the bottom corner. What an awful piece of football from MK, but Crawley Town are in dreamland, and it was excellent pressing, you have to say. It's a deliberate ploy from them to get in the face of MK, and it's paid off.
Well, we fancied there might be an early goal tonight. I'm not sure that too many of us expected it to come from the visitors. And what a monumental challenge Mike Williamson and his team have on their hands now. They have won a corner almost straight from the restart, and they will be in a hurry to try and get themselves back on level terms on the evening. 1-0 Crawley, 4-0 to the Sussex side on aggregate. The side who only snuck into the playoffs on the very last day of the season. Corner played short to the edge of the penalty area, and then the cross from Bate is charged down, and it goes behind for another corner for Milton Keynes.
It's a good response. Yeah, it's a good response. You know, they're on the front foot. They know they've got to score 4. I mean, it's some task, but it isn't impossible.
Bate to whip in the corner. Right-hand side as we look. It bobbles along the 6-yard line. Hooked to the edge of the penalty area. And then played all the way back to Marshall in the MK goal. He gets plenty of purchase on the clearance upfield, but it's headed down by Conroy, the Crawley captain. And they're going to have to build again here down their left-hand side with Jack Payne. MK Dons. And he plays a long ball up towards the front trio, but it's all the way through to Corey Adai, the Crawley goalkeeper. 1-0 to the visitors, 4-0 on aggregate.
Yeah, I can't believe what I've just seen from Alex Gilby. They've pinned them in on the edge of the box. The ball comes out to him. He's 30 yards from goal, and he turns and he plays the pass back to his goalkeeper. Incredible, really. You've got to keep Crawley under pressure there, surely. It's been a very nervy start, and Mike Williamson, he is calm down there, but he'll be fuming with the way they've started.
Orsi's got away from Tucker down the Crawley right-hand side. Tucker slides in and wins a goal kick. Last touch was off Orsi, who's just exchanging some hand gestures with the MK Dons fans behind the goal. He was quite quiet in the first leg, actually. Yeah. 21 goals this season. Got the winner when they met in the league back in August, the former Grimsby man, Danilo Orsi.
Yeah, he's had the best season of his career. He'll be absolutely loving life right now.
Here come MK at the other end. Played into midfield, and Max Dean, he feels like he was bundled over, but the referee says play on. And Crawley have it now with their left wing back Joe Tomlinson. We've played 7 minutes here on Talksport 2. It's MK Dons 0, Crawley Town 1. MK are going to have to score 4 times just to take this to extra time now.
big old task. Look, Crawley can be a flaky side. They've lost 18 games in the regular season. It's only one less than Grimsby, who just stayed up. So, they can be beaten.
They're certainly playing with plenty of confidence tonight. Ball played into Horsey on the edge of the Milton Keynes area and chipped over the top of a static back line. Horsey got purchase on it. I think he was expecting the offside flag. It never went up and can only scuff his effort wide. Well, that all came from a really powerful run from Joe Tomlinson.
Yeah, it was good play. It was really good play from Crawley yet again. It's a lovely little scoop pass. Wasn't Liam Kelly that just scooped it over a square-looking back three? And Horsey has more time than he realises, and he sort of stretches for the effort, and he bobbles it wide in the end off the volley. But yeah, that was a real half chance. I thought it was offside though, but the linesman didn't raise his flag.
But I think he felt he might be as well, which is perhaps why he didn't meet the ball with any kind of conviction. Again, they're trying to force the error here. 3 red shirts camped on the edge of the 18-yard box, and again MK are playing their way out. Tucker out to his right-hand side, Nohora, who's urged forward by the home supporters. Not the start that they came hoping for. It's been a really aggressive approach from Scott Lindsay, very highly regarded Crawley manager. In fact, there's a school of thought that they might have to win promotion just to keep hold of him, keep him out of the clutches of some of the bigger clubs in the EFL.
Yeah. Well, he did pretty well. He was doing okay at Swindon, and then he sort of walked away from that gig, didn't he, to take this job. And you thought, well, he's got to be crazy. No one really wanted the job at Crawley. It was Crypto Crawley, the laughing stock, the owners. But he's through very, very good coaching, he has transformed this team. They recruited a lot of non-league players, Crookie, and they've come good. And they're one of the best passing teams in League One. They play a lovely brand of football, and as we've seen tonight, they're pretty good at pressing as well.
And it's been a fearless approach over the course of the 2 legs. I was at the Broadfield Stadium on Tuesday, and what impressed me was the fact they kept going for more goals, because I was at Oxford for the first leg of their League One semi-final against Peterborough, and they seemed to declare at 1-0. In the end, it got them over the line with that draw at Peterborough, but certainly Crawley, I think, were determined to come here with as bigger lead as possible, knowing that MK Dons had an off night, and they're having another one so far this evening. 9 minutes gone on Talksport 2. It is Crawley who lead by Jay Williams' 3rd minute goal to 0. A reminder, earlier today, Burnley relegated from the Premier League. You heard that live on Talksport. So they led at Tottenham before losing by 2-1. They'll be back in the EFL next season. So too will Luton, although not mathematically, but because of their goal difference, they are effectively down as well. Here come Crawley on the attack, down their left-hand side. Kelly with a cross into the penalty area, cleared as far as Campbell on the edge of the box, and then MK Dons again struggled to clear their line. It's Kelly with a little flick around the corner, looking for Horsey, goes all the way through to Marshall, and some respite for the home team.
Yeah, the fans are sticking with the team though. They're getting behind them, they're trying to raise their morale, roaring them on. Jeremy Kelly started really well, hasn't he, over on that far side, the left wing back for Crawley. And I thought Liam Kelly was magnificent in that first match in midfield. He scored, didn't he? He was involved in another of the goals as well. Terrific, industrious midfield performance from him.
MK Dons 0, Crawley 1. And we've played 11 minutes in this second leg semi-final. The 6th time that Milton Keynes have made it into an EFL playoff. They've never reached the final. And that hoodoo looks like it might continue. Still a long way to go though. If they could get a goal back, they would start to believe again, the home fans. Corey Addo, all in blue, the Crawley goalkeeper, plays it high upfield, looking for Horsey, headed down by Tucker, immediately collected by Lolos, and a bit of showboating from him as he flicked the ball up before bringing it neatly from the sky, but that move breaks down the edge of the area, and Lewis Bate quickly carries the ball over halfway for Milton Keynes. Here now is Dean, coming in from that left-hand side, slide tackle from the goal scorer Williams, and I think Max Dean just left a little bit on him then. Well, he was spoiling for a fight throughout the game on Tuesday, and I don't think Max Dean needed to make contact there with Jay Williams, and Adai, who towers above the MK number 18, has come across and just given him a big chest barge to make that very point.
Yeah, he came 30-40 yards out of his goal to let Max Dean know that's not okay. We haven't seen a replay of it. I thought it was a great tackle from Jay Williams. It was a really, really well-timed challenge. And yeah, Dean then left some afters on him. He's all action, isn't he, Dean? He doesn't stop. He's happy to drop deep. He wants to run with the ball. I noticed he's averaging over 4 shots per game, non-penalty shots per game, which is 3rd highest in League Two. So he really is an all-action performer. And if they are going to get back in this game, you sense Max Dean's going to be at the heart of it. He needs to watch out though. He doesn't pick up a yellow or even a red here.
Yeah, that was a nasty one. I think if we did have VAR, then maybe they would have had a second glance. The referee has restarted play with a bounce ball in MK's favour. And they have it on halfway now with Jack Tucker, number 4 on the back of his white jersey. And it's played up to the edge of the 18-yard box. Well defended by Lawrence Maguire. Can't keep the ball in play though, and it's going to be a throw-in for MK over on that far right-hand side. Looking for an early equaliser here, the home side, after being stunned by that 3rd minute Jay Williams goal. Having been caught trying to play the ball out from inside their own box, but a cross is fizzed in by Harvey. There was a clash of heads then on the edge of the Crawley penalty area, and I think it's Dion Comroy who's come off worse. He's down and potentially in need of some treatment. It remains 1-0 to Crawley.
Yeah, O'Hora it was. They play ever so high, the 3 centre-backs for MK Dons in possession. They're inside the opposition half, and there's the ball just flew up in the air. The right side of the centre-back, O'Hora, just comes steaming in, and he mistimes it and clatters into the Crawley man, and they just get the opportunity to get the breather in and to just slow down the game. And the referee is just having a word with the MK defender, saying steady on. But this has been a supremely confident start from Crawley Town. They look very much in control of their emotions, and they seem confident in the game plan that Scott Lindsay has sent them out with.
The late game in the Premier League, by the way, finished in defeat for Nottingham Forest. Doesn't matter, they are safe for another season in the Premier League. It finished Forest 2, Chelsea 3. Elsewhere today, big win for Manchester City away from home at Fulham, live on Talksport by 4-0. All the pressure on Arsenal as they go to Old Trafford tomorrow. The Sunday session will be live from that game. Brentford got a controversial 2-1 win at Bournemouth. Everton beat relegated Sheffield United 1-0. Sheffield United have now set a new record for the most goals conceded in a single Premier League season of 101. Newcastle 1, Brighton 1. It finished at St James's Park. Spurs beating Burnley 2-1. West Ham came from behind to defeat Luton 3-1 and relegate the Hatters effectively in David Moyes' last home game in charge. And another good win for Crystal Palace, 3-1 at Wolves. Rangers beaten at Celtic in the Old Firm. Celtic a big step closer towards the Championship. And in the FA Trophy final, more Wembley misery for Solihull Moors. They lost on penalties to Gateshead after a 2-2 draw.
We've got to feel sorry for Solihull Moors. I mean, twice in 2 weeks they lost a shootout at Wembley. They lost the playoff final as well to Grimsby a couple of years ago at the London Stadium. I was there. That was a heartbreaking one as well. Went to extra time.
Tell you what, if you offered MK Dons a penalty shootout now, they'd take it. That looked a late challenge from Harvey on Lawless. Studs were showing. He feels Lawless made a bit of a meal of it to try and win the free kick. Referee plays the game on, and then the ball knocked up towards the edge of the Crawley penalty area, one back by Williams. There's just been a couple of rash moments, if you like, involving the home team, and they've got to keep their tempers under control. And right on cue, Harry Forster has been caught by a late challenge there from Joe Tomlinson on his left-hand side. Crawley free kick in the right-back position. They lead 1-0.
Yeah, I spoke ahead of kick-off about getting the balance right between sort of going for it and not leaving the back door open. But that also applies to your temperament. You've got to have fire in your bellies, but if you've got too much, it's going to backfire. You're going to give away free kicks, and the games are going to become stop-start, and that's not what they want. They want this game to be free-flowing, full of chances, and at the moment Crawley have done a fantastic job of keeping them at arm's length.
The opening 17 minutes have gone just as Scott Lindsay would have wanted. They were 22nd last season, Crawley. They only snuck into the playoffs on the final day of the regulation campaign with 70 points, which is a joint low, along with Blackpool. As Aids already alluded to, Adrian Clarke alongside me, they lost 18 games, more than any team in the top half, and they only beat one of the top 8, and that was MK Dons.
Yeah, their record against the best teams in the division was atrocious, but fortunately they won a lot of games against the teams in the bottom half, and they're very good away from home, Crawley Town. You can see that here tonight. 10 away victories. The majority of them were against teams in the bottom half, but it gave them I think the joint third best away record in the division. So they come here tonight with that big advantage, but also confident. We know that we can go anywhere in the division and be competitive.
Addo with the ball, swung out to the Crawley left-hand side, cushioned down by Jeremy Kelly, and then played down the line to his namesake Liam. One back by Lofthouse, and you can hear the frustration amongst the home supporters that O'Hora, the former Brighton man, didn't get that ball upfield as quickly as they'd have liked. In fact, it's still on the halfway line, and now O'Hora spots the run of Bates. Bate can't bring it down on the edge of the box, and it skids all the way through for Adai, the goalkeeper. 1-0 to Crawley, 4-0 on aggregate they lead. One of only 2 teams in the 92 never to have played at Wembley. Do you know the other?
Okay. No.
Morecambe.
Okay.
Just stick that away in case you need it in the pub quiz at some stage.
I like that. Well, I played against both teams in non-league, in the National League, when they were on their way up into the EFL. Small clubs, both of them, but they're doing very well. I have to say, Crawley Town, they don't get big crowds, but they've not been anywhere near the bottom really this season. They've been excellent.
Ball forward towards Forster, intercepted by Tomlinson for MK Dons, and here's Bates, the pint-sized central midfielder for the home side, runs into the centre circle, lays it off to his right-hand side, and Wern. And Dean, dropping deep, tries to chip it over the top of the Crawley defence, but couldn't pull it off. And that's a silly free kick to concede by Lofthouse, the right wing-back of Crawley. Will have the dead ball now, just on the corner of their own box.
How many have we seen? We're 19 minutes into the game, and I think there have been probably 5 to 10 needless fouls from MK Dons, just over-egging it a little bit.
They didn't have a great end, did they, to the regular season? They were so comfortable in terms they knew they were going to finish 4th, a long way out. Maybe a bit of complacency set in. The
edge went maybe.
5-3 winners over Harrogate, but I know Mike Williamson wasn't happy with their defending that day. 4-4 at home to Sutton in a bonkers game on the final day of the season. Of course, that 3-0 defeat at Crawley, they've conceded 10 in their last 3 matches. And they've conceded another early on here tonight. They trail 1-0. They need 4 just to force extra time. Ball out to the MK left-hand side. Chance for Tomlinson to run into the penalty area. Drills it right-footed. Blocked by that sea of red jerseys. Picked up again by Harvey, well forward from the back just outside the area. But again, Crawley defend it well, and Harvey will have to build again here. Midway inside the Crawley half, he comes infield and rolls it into the feet of the yellow-booted Bates.
Yeah, leaving themselves 1v1 at the back, committing a lot of bodies forward. I guess it's risk and reward now, isn't it, for MK? If they do lose it, they're very, very susceptible to the counter here.
First quarter of the game has gone according to plan as far as Crawley are concerned. They got the goal early and they're defending very well here. Adai yet to be seriously tested. That could change with Tomlinson again, with dancing feet from the left-hand side, cross blocked by Harry Forster. I thought was excellent in the first game on Tuesday. Roaming down that right-hand side, but doing his defensive duties as well. MK have a throw level with the penalty area on this left-hand side, and Dan Harvey is going to take it. So it will be hoisted into the penalty box. Away to our left in front of the travelling Crawley fans, flicked on at the near post, and Dean trying to keep it alive, but again well defended, and it's scooped clear towards the centre circle where Tomlinson will pick it up. Cushions his pass in towards Bates, who made a mess of it. It's collected by Jack Tucker in the right back position. He is immediately pressurised by the hard-working Orsi, and it's out of play for a Crawley throw. 1-0 they lead.
Well, I think that's the difference between the two teams. Obviously, it's the difference tonight because Crawley have got their goal very early on in that 3rd minute from pressing the back three of Milton Keynes. But in the first leg, I thought MK might be more proactive. You know, they've scored a lot of goals from high turnovers this season, MK Dons, the joint most in the division. They sat off. They had a deep lying block and allowed Crawley the initiative. Well, Crawley are doing the exact opposite to them, aren't they? You could have been forgiven for thinking, well, Crawley are just going to take it easy, put men behind the ball, but that's not really how they're going about their work. Very, very assertive defending from the front.
And here they come again, looking for another goal. Campbell out to the right and Forster blocked by Harvey, and they might have a chance here, MK, to spring the counter-attack. Again, the home fans are unhappy because they haven't done that. They played it back to their own penalty area. They do look a little bit lacking in confidence, MK Dons.
They do, yeah. For a team that has scored a lot of goals lately, I know they've conceded plenty, but they're not playing like a team that finished 4th in the division. They're
not playing like a team who believe they can go through tonight.
No, they're not. It's edgy, and I think the supporters are absolutely sensing that as well.
Crew lie in wait. The final next Sunday, live on Talksport 2 from Wembley. The League One playoff final 24 hours earlier. We know that will be Bolton against Oxford, and the Championship semi-finals get underway tomorrow, live on Talksport. Back-to-back commentaries. We start at Carrow Road, Norwich against Leeds, then we're hot-footing it to the Hawthorns as West Bromwich Albion host Southampton. Don't you just love this time of year?
I love it. I really do. The playoffs always deliver, don't they? Great drama, and I think the Championship playoffs are particularly interesting because you've got the juggernauts of Leeds and Southampton in there who are licking their wounds. How will they recover from what must be a massive disappointment of failing to make top 2?
Yeah, Southampton have had a few more weeks, I think, to come to terms with that. Leeds missing out late in the day to Ipswich. Crawley have possession on the edge of their own 18-yard box. Conroy, a losing semi-finalist with Swindon 2 years ago. Now the Crawley skipper is in no real hurry to get the ball played forward. Instead they go back to Adai, who's very comfortable, as we know from the first game, carrying the ball out from the back, and again he drops into that right back position and then finds Williams, who's back to goal, and it's played out to the left hand side now, where Lawrence Maguire, who looks like Harry, runs like Harry, plays like Harry, brings it forward.
Yeah, got a great stat on Corey Adai. Not just... he's given it away though.
But he's passed it into trouble, and then it was a tame effort. Gilby maybe with more time than he used there, after Adai passed it straight to the MK Dons captain, around about 30 yards out, and he scuffed it right-footed straight back into the keeper's gloves.
Yeah, that was sloppy. That was from Adai, who's super confident, isn't he, with the ball at his feet. But he's a very good goalie as well. Opta, with their goals prevented stats, say that he's prevented, wait for it, 17.9 extra goals this season. The next closest goalkeeper is Wrexham's, that's saved an extra 7.6. I mean, that's impressive.
Those are mind-boggling numbers for the former Coventry youngster. Also had a spell in Denmark early in his career. Might have some more stopping to do here because MK have got plenty of men forward. Bate out to the right-hand side. Deep cross from O'Hara towards Dean. Cleared to the edge of the penalty area. Tomlinson urged to shoot, and that's a magnificent save. Right on cue from Adai. It was a power-packed left-foot shot that was heading for the bottom corner, and he flings himself, the big goalkeeper, down to his left and claws it behind for a corner kick.
Wow, that is a scorching strike from Tomlinson, but what about the save? The shot goes through bodies and it reacts so quickly. He springs left and he palms it behind the goal. That is pretty special from Corey Adai.
MK with their third corner of the evening, played short to the edge of the penalty area before being curled into the box, but the offside flag was up. Free kick for Crawley. I can see Ellis Harrison stood up in the back row of the MK dugout. I wonder, even at this early stage, Adrian Clarke, if Mike Williamson might be contemplating changes. They're 1-0 down, 4 down on aggregate. He's going to have to go for broke.
Yeah, I don't expect him to sit on things for too long. If he doesn't like what he's seeing, he will make the change. We've seen a bold move with the goalkeeper coming in for the starting 11. Yeah, I can see him making changes. Probably not before half-time, but don't write it off.
Haddo with good distance on the free kick, but it's collected by the Alice band wearing Bates deep inside MK territory, and he plays it back to Harvey, his centre back. And now the goalkeeper Marshall, who's looked a little uncomfortable, plays the ball to the halfway line. It was won by Lolos, but back at the feet of the MK goalkeeper once more. And I didn't particularly think that Michael Kelly did a lot wrong in that first game in terms of the goals he conceded, and I just wonder, when you make such a big call at this stage of the season, how much extra pressure does that heap on the man coming in?
A lot. Of course it doesn't. And what also happens is that the guy that's been dropped is devastated, and he's got lots of mates in the team. Some of them might be in the back three, and all they're talking about ahead of kickoff is, can't believe what's happened to happened to the goalie. So it can be a distraction, can't it? Especially as the goalkeeper is on loan from Aston Villa as well. He's not a player that actually belongs to MK Dons. So yeah, it's a gamble that hasn't paid off so far. We haven't got a monitor here, but the finish from Williams was a gentle one, wasn't it? I felt the goalkeeper was a little bit slow getting down to it.
It's the worst possible start, isn't it, for him? 3 minutes into the game already, having to pick the ball out from the back of his net. Hadn't really had time to acclimatise. Strong but fair challenge from Harry Forster on Gilby. MK Dons fans not happy with it, but referee, who's let the game flow well, says play on. And it's bowled out by Marshall on the edge of that MK Dons penalty area out to his right hand side, and O'Hora. MK nil, Crawley 1, 29 minutes played, 4-0 the deficit now over the 2 games. They have scored 3 or more goals on 8 occasions this season, but only won by 3 goals here at home on 3 occasions. We're going to have to do that again. Ball into the penalty area. They have to win 5-1.
Sorry?
We have to win 5-1, aren't they, to take this to extra time?
Yeah.
4-1.
4-1. We're losing count here.
We need Carol Vorderman.
We're losing count here. Yeah, so they're 4-0 down.
They're 4-0 down. They need to score 4.
Yeah.
4-1. Yeah. I was just testing you. Make sure you had your wits about you.
You did confuse me. You got me doubting myself there, Crookie. 4 will take it to extra time. But, the way that this game has started, I don't want to write this game off. We don't want to lose listeners, but they're not performing in a way at the moment that suggests they can turn this around. But you never know. Football is a crazy game. Get them in at half-time, score 2 early goals second half. Things might start to look a bit wobbly for Crawley. So it's not done yet.
It's looking wobbly here because Orsi has stolen the ball away from Harvey, and he's shooting towards the bottom corner, and Crawley Town have their second. They need 5 now. MK Dons. It's another defensive disaster class from Milton Keynes Dons, and Danilo Orsi coolly from the edge of the penalty area slots in his 22nd of the season. They lead 5-0 on aggregate.
Crawley Town get those trips booked to Wembley. You're heading to the Arch next weekend. It's another disastrous moment for MK Dons. It's Tucker this time. He lets the ball bounce. He's facing his own goal, and Orsi just muscles him off the ball. And again, I have to say that the strike, even though it is in the corner,
not the most powerful.
It's not a powerful strike. It's past Marshall into the far corner. This is turning into a horror show for MK Dons.
And there are home supporters who are already leaving the stadium.
Yeah. Well, either leaving or going to get a cup of tea or a beer or something like that. But yeah, you can suddenly see a lot of empty seats. I feel for them after the season they've had, to put in a shocking performance at Crawley, and then to follow it up with this, a horrible half an hour here at their own ground. It's all of that work this season, all of that hard work, all of the excellent performances undone by 120 minutes of really, really poor football from them.
You're listening to MK Dons against Crawley Town in the EFL League 2 on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the McDonald's app and get tasty rewards points, 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. Have they scored with their only 2 shots on target?
I believe so. Yeah, the goalie didn't look like saving either of them. They've scored from winning the ball high up again. It's a very clear tactic, and it's a tactic that has reaped massive rewards for Crawley Town. Those fans, they might be separated in that upper tier away to our left, but they're united in absolute joy right now. They're thinking of Wembley.
Stunning performance over the 2 legs. Que sera, sera. Sing those Crawley fans high up in the gods in the second tier here at Stadium MK. Well, he told me after the first game, Scott Lindsay, they wouldn't come here and just try and keep a clean sheet. They wanted to get themselves on the scoreboard. They've done it twice in the opening 31 minutes. Jay Williams after 3 minutes.
Yeah.
After the ball was passed straight to him. And Danilo Orsi taking advantage of more sloppy defending for his 22nd of the season.
Yeah, we should have known this. They scored in their last 7. They scored in 12 of their last 13. They scored in 15 of their last 17. Crawley Town score goals, whether it's at home or away. So it's probably always likely that MK would need 4, but conceding 2, that surely ends it. 5 from here just doesn't feel realistic.
Mike Williamson just for a few moments sat in his seat in the dugout. Even he looks a little bit resigned. And certainly the home fans sit in stunned silence here on Talksport 2. MK nil, Crawley Town 2 as Max Dean gives away a foul in the Crawley right wing position. He was shouting in the face of Forster there as he went to ground. Some frustration on show now in the home ranks, on and off the pitch. Remember, MK Dons haven't lost back-to-back games since Mike Williamson took charge back in mid-October. That record is under serious threat. They haven't looked like scoring either, MK. Another subdued performance from the home team. Bate almost stealing the ball deep inside Crawley territory. Lolos has been dispossessed by Gilby. He's gone down holding his shoulder. Referee again isn't interested in giving the free kick. Gilby on the edge of the area slides it forward, looking for the run of Dean. Well defended, and Lolos looks in a little bit of discomfort here.
Yeah, that's not what you want when you know that your team is playing at Wembley in 8 days time. You do not want to hurt your shoulder, and he's really holding it. He's writhing around in agony. Hopefully it's not collarbone. I did a collarbone once. Goodness me, that was painful. And you're talking a couple of months out. Let's hope he's all right.
Well, he's back on his feet now pretty rapidly, Lolos.
He's a good player, very exciting player actually. He's had a terrific season. We didn't know a lot about him, did we, ahead of this campaign? But 13 goals, 5 assists, fabulous effort from him.
He's also scored in 5 of his last 7. He is just making his way off the pitch with the Crawley physio, but I think that is a precautionary act. We've got 9 minutes plus stoppage time to play in the first half. You're listening to Talksport 2 live from Stadium MK, the last of the League 2 playoff semi-finals before the Championship takes centre stage tomorrow. Both those games live on Talksport. Norwich against Leeds, West Brom against Southampton. As part of the Sunday session that comes live from Old Trafford. Arsenal having to play catch-up against Manchester City 4-0 winners on Talksport against Fulham this morning. Here comes Tomlinson. Right-footed shot from the edge of the penalty. The goalkeeper's only managed to palm it away, but Really
good choice.
Well defended again by Crawley. They had a strength of numbers back there to clear upfield, and now Orsi accelerates down the right, and he's found Kelly. Kelly couldn't quite bring it under control midway inside the MK half, and the home team with the opportunity to build again. They need a goal before half time. They need two ideally.
Yep, they really do. And look, the attitude's good. They're doing their best. It's just the execution of their play has been disappointing. Look, they've forced a couple of good saves out of Corey Adai. We'll give them their due. Both long shots though. They haven't carved them open, have they? Haven't really got in behind them enough. They haven't been flashing balls across that 6-yard box for fun, like they can do, because they've got two good wing backs. It's been comfortable, I'd say, for the men in red.
More comfortable than they dared envisage, I would imagine. Long throw from Crawley Town up towards Orsi. Sliding into clear was Tucker. Bate picks it up on halfway and taps it back into the centre circle on Hora. And then strong play from Maguire, barging Dean off the ball.
Brushed him over, didn't he, as if he wasn't there. He does look like, just the gait, the way he stands, it does look like Harry Maguire.
Well, could be a Maguire family double at Wembley. Manchester United in the FA Cup final.
Come on, Crookie.
Crawley.
It's unlikely, right?
Looking to book their place. It just meant they might both play there.
Okay. Well, Harry's injured, isn't he, at the moment? I don't know if he's going to be fit for the cup.
I think Manchester United, he will be fit for that game. Somebody's got to be fit for that game.
Yeah, it feels like a long time. I think Crawley might have a better chance of winning at Wembley. I'd make them favourites, I have to say, over Crew, especially the way they've played in this two-legged semi. Absolutely, almost flawless, I'd say, from Crawley.
Yeah, they certainly look like they've saved their best for the playoffs. Heavy underdogs going into that first game on Tuesday, made light work of the home leg, and they're doing the same here. 2-0 up with 6 minutes the first half to play. They've had some big days out in recent memory, but none will be bigger than this final. That's a lovely ball from Lolos into Campbell, who's just offside on the edge of the area, and it's a free kick for MK Dons.
Yeah, he was off. Yeah, it was a nice ball for Lolos, who seems to have recovered. The physio was sort of almost looked as if he was trying to pop the shoulder back in. Surely it wasn't dislocated. I think he was just checking to see whether it was. But yeah, he'll love Wembley, I think, Lolos. Big open space, bit of a flair player. They've got Orsi as well. Like, you can see him running the channels for fun on that big pitch at Wembley. It's look. They've got the job to do here, and this isn't done yet, but it almost is.
9 matches in a row now. Crawley have found the back of the net. Bate wins a free kick for a over-the-top challenge from Lolos, and the referee is going to show the first yellow card of the evening for the Crawley number 8.
Yeah, that was silly. You're 5-0 up on aggregate. Don't get yourself a yellow, and then you put yourself on the line for a possible suspension for next week if you pick up another. So yeah, Lolos a little bit overexcited there.
Scott Lindsay deep in conversation, the Crawley manager, with a 4th official away to our left. The press box here at Stadium MK level with the penalty area that MK Dons are defending. I use that term in the loosest possible sense of the words, because their defending on both goals was negligent. And so far, that change of keeper that Mike Williamson made, that bold call before kick-off, hasn't paid off. I think Adrian Clarke alongside me feels that Philip Marshall could have done better with both Crawley goals.
Yeah, for the first, for sure. Yeah, but he went down in stages. The second one was right in the corner, but for me it was still a fairly weak shot that I might have expected him to save. So yeah, it's backfired from Mike Williamson. You can't blame him, I guess, for trying something different. But yeah, it's been a horrible first half for him and for his team.
MK Dons beat all 3 of their playoff rivals here at Stadium MK in the regular season, lost to all 3 away from home. Unless they can win by 3 clear goals tonight, it will be Crawley off to Wembley. They have got an injury issue here. Harry Forster is down just inside the MK Dons half.
He was holding his hamstring, I'm afraid, and they've stripped the substitute already.
Oh, well, that is a major blow with that playoff final just 8 days away. Adi Amo, one potential option to come on, but it's going to be Kellen Gordon.
Yeah, what a blow for Forster. He started this game great. He'd been brilliant over the 2 legs, and he is walking off very gingerly. If it's the hammy, he won't play next weekend, I'm afraid.
Well, let's hope it's just a minor niggle rather than a tear.
Yeah.
They're at the stage of the game where they can afford to take him off, but he is heading straight to the tunnel. He is shaking his head. Harry Forster, disappointment for him. Kellen Gordon, who played under Scott Lindsay at Swindon, is on in his place. Came on in the second half on Tuesday as well. So a like-for-like change. Crawley leading here on the night by 2-0, 5-0 on aggregate. Obviously, Sheffield Wednesday came back from 4-0 down to beat Peterborough in the League One semis last season. Apologies to Adrian Durham, he's listening on his way back from the London Stadium.
Yeah, I've already been accused of trolling him earlier on tonight by bringing that up online.
Has anyone come back from 5 down?
No.
With one half to play?
Just absolutely not. And as much as I'd kind of like it to happen, because that would be incredible drama, I do think that's a little bit of a pipe dream.
Here's Tomlinson down by the left corner flag for MK Dons. They need at least a goal before half time, you feel, to even make a fist of it in the second half. Bate forward to Dean. Dean spots the runner Gilby inside the area. He's got right underneath the cross. That is appalling, I have to say. I'm not sure what he was trying to do there. It's over the head of everybody in white and out for a throw in on the opposite side of the ground.
They're just not doing themselves justice, because Alex Gilby is a really good player at this level. Probably shouldn't be in League 2. I'd say he's a League 1 level player. He scored 13 goals, made 10 assists. He's the player of the year, players player of the year, and what is a very simple cross, he's just ballooned it. I mean, it's awful. So yeah, but it sums up, doesn't it? It sums up.
They're feeling frazzled out there. Can't quite believe what's happened to them over the course of a game and a half.
I think they're now disillusioned. They're feeling like they just want it to end. It's a crushing disappointment, and I think they're embarrassed. And I also feel that they've lost confidence. They know the crowd have almost given up on them as well. And I think it's a case of them almost wanting the final whistle now. Look, they've got to be professional, but I don't think they're playing with belief here.
Jack Tucker carrying the ball into the Crawley half. We've got just a few seconds of normal time to play. There will be a couple of added minutes, I think. Here's Tomlinson, level with the penalty area, down the left-hand side for Milton Keynes, taking on the sub Gordon, drilling the cross low, but stabbed away at the near post by Will Wright and out for a throw.
What a clearance that was in that first leg, by the way, when Max Dean went through.
That was almost the turning point, wasn't it?
I think that's the big moment in the tie. Yeah, you know, they take the lead there, and it's a very, very different game, isn't it? It was a magnificent, almost out of this world piece of defending.
We've got a free kick here, Milton Keynes. A few yards shy of the right corner of the 18-yard box. 5 added minutes at the end of the first half. I was being conservative when I said there'd be a couple added on. That might just give the home supporters a bit more belief, especially if they can make something from this set piece. It's going to be Jack Payne, I think, to whip it in. Left-footed from the right-hand side. Jack Tucker is still a few yards to his left. Tomlinson, rather, I think it is. It's towards the far post. It's a good delivery, and it's been turned in by Max Dean. And maybe there is still life in Milton Keynes Dons. Max Dean, who missed that glaring chance on Tuesday, has just made a partial amends. It was a really good delivery. Jack Payne to the far post, headed down inside the 6-yard box, and Dean from 4 yards out makes it MK Dons 1, Crawley 2.
Oh, boy, did Milton Keynes need that. It's a brilliant free kick from Jack Payne. I've seen this boy ever since he came through the ranks at Southend. You know, really exciting attacking midfield player. He's got a lovely left foot and he's whipped it to the far stick. Jack Tucker, who was to blame for that second goal, he gets on the end of it, and it's a brilliant set, isn't it? Across the face of goal. And there he is, Max Dean. 15 goals in the regular season in the league. Really, really sharp finish. Look, that gives them a little bit of hope.
16 goals and 5 assists now for Dean over the course of the campaign. 2-1 on the night. Crawley leading 5-1 on aggregate. It's the first step
Yeah.
up what is a pretty sizable ladder.
It's a baby step, isn't it? And look, a couple more of those and suddenly it might be a different game, but I imagine Crawley will regroup here. But yeah, look, that's just a little warning for Crawley that the job isn't quite done yet.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be the message from Scott Lindsay when he gets the players back into the dressing room. The ball scooped forward though by Lawless, and he's onside here, and an opportunity to finish the tie again. And my word, Jeremy Kelly probably should have taken it. Brilliant ball over the top. I thought he was offside. So did the MK Dons defenders, bellowing at the assistant. The flag stayed down. Out came Marshall, and he just didn't get enough contact on the ball to lift it over the goalkeeper and over the line as well.
Yeah, it's a shocking lob from Kelly. The pass is sensational, really sublime, just dinks it over a really square-looking rearguard. My instinct was that it was offside, but he did make a run from deep. Maybe the timing was spot on, but once he gets in, there's not a lot of belief there from Jeremy Kelly. He lobs it straight in the air, it almost goes up vertically, and it barely reaches the goal. And MK are able to clear their lines. It doesn't even reach the goal line. So, look, that's a let-off, isn't it, for MK?
I don't know if Lawless was caught off the ball, but it's not Lawless who's down. It's Will Wright, who looks very groggy and is being helped back to his feet by Gordon. Max Dean clearly felt like he was wasting time, the Crawley defender. So we're going to get added on time here.
Crawley Town fans thought it was in. They're obviously at the far end of the stadium. The roar went up, but it barely reached the goal. It was a really disappointing execution from the player.
Probably
Kelly.
just put his foot through it, couldn't he?
Yeah. I didn't think the lob was a bad choice. It was just a really bad lob.
O'Hara forward for MK Dons, looking for Dean. Maguire's been penalised for a foul off the ball, so it's going to be another free kick right at the end of 5 added minutes here, and another chance to load up the penalty area away to the left. If they could get back on level terms, it would change the complexion of Mike Williamson's half-time team talk, that's for sure. And we've seen already with a goal they have scored MK's prowess from set pieces.
High line again, isn't it? They're going to have to time their run here. It's risky from Crawley, but it makes it very awkward for the taker.
And Dean is stood in an offside position at the moment. He'll come back onside when the ball is played towards the edge of the penalty area. Decent distance on the clearance away. It's collected by Harvey, who comes forward down the left-hand side for MK Dons. The Crawley fans want the half-time whistle. We've gone beyond the 5 added minutes, but there was that injury for Wright during that time. It's scooped forward by Tucker, but over the head of all of his teammates and out for a goal kick, and that probably, Adrian Clarke, will be the last meaningful act of the half.
I think so, and 2-1 is a fair reflection of what we've seen here. Crawley have been the better side. They haven't peppered the goal, but whenever they've got in and around the final third, they've carried a threat. I think they've been confident, they've defended from the front superbly, and they've gone about their work in a very professional manner. MK have been pretty poor. I think the quality has been low from them, and they'll be grateful, I think, to have got that one goal, but it does give them a little bit of hope.
Dean out to the right hand side. Still we play on at the end of the first half. MK Dons 2-1 down the night, 5-1 on aggregate. Oh, this is a breathtaking run by the wing back. Lofthouse stopped in his tracks on the edge of the penalty area, but he carried the ball an awful long way. Well defended by Crawley. For a moment, it looked like he was going to bulldoze his way through.
He was slaloming in between defenders, wasn't it? It was a brilliant buccaneering run. Just couldn't get his shot away.
Here's Tomlinson. Crosses from the left-hand side. Adai couldn't come for it. He's out of play for a throw. We've played 6.5 added on minutes now. And still, the referee is happy to let proceedings continue.
Yeah, I think his watch might have stopped here, but look, it's good for MK Dons. It's giving them extra chance to pull it back level, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, they're going to be attacking the goal behind which the more vocal supporters are gathered. That might just give them an extra lift in the second half, because there goes the half-time whistle, and you can hear the boos from the Milton Keynes supporters. Their team came into this one needing a minor miracle. Well, their task made even more monumental when Jay Williams caught the hosts playing their way out from the back to open the scoring. Danilo Orsi capitalising on another defensive mistake to score his 22nd of the season 14 minutes before half-time. The tie looked over at that point. Max Dean in stoppage time has given the home supporters just a ray of hope, but my word, Adrian Clarke, it would be some comeback in the second half.
It would be the mother of all comebacks. They've been booed off, and I think they've been booed off for a reason, because they've played without belief in this first half. Okay, they've got themselves a consolation goal here just before half-time, but in general, where is the up and at them style? Where is the sort of forceful, assertive football? They haven't really tested the goalkeeper other than with long shots. It's been a hugely disappointing first half, a really nervy first half from MK Dons. Crawley, super professional, 2 excellent goals from pieces of pressing inside the final third, and they look the class act here, and they look to be heading towards Wembley in fine form.
As it stands, it will be Crewe against Crawley in what probably, going into these semi-finals, was the least likely of finals. MK Dons have 45 minutes to change that. Half-time here at Stadium MK. It is MK Dons 1, Crawley 2. The visitors in cruise control.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League and the EFL.
EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. How's this for a tasty lineup? A McCrispy and a strawberry milkshake. Order McDelivery now on the McDonald's app and get tasty reward points delivered too. 18 plus. Rewards account required. Participating restaurants. Subject to availability. Delivery fees and terms apply.
At Tesco Mobile, we're putting your contract price on ice. Right now, get a 60 gig SIM for just £13 a month with club card prices, saving you £48. That's value frozen in. Plus, we'll throw in £20 worth of club card points too. It pays to be connected. Search Tesco Mobile. Every little helps.
Ends 19th of May. Club card and 24-month credit agreement required. Frozen for contract duration. Value issued at 2,000 club card points. Terms at tescomobile.com/terms.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is finally in cinemas.
What a wonderful day!
See it in IMAX in cinemas everywhere now.
Let me go straight to the point. When you're laying a patio or driveway, you need Seeker Fast Fix. It's ready mixed, easy to use, and quick to apply. Plus, it comes in 5 colours, and you can use it in any weather. Transform your next project with confidence. Transform it with Seeker Fast Fix. And you'll finish a quality job in no time at all. Seeker stockist now at seeker.co.uk/landscaping.
Join the nation in cinching it. Buy your perfect car online and get first-class assistance from start to finish. Your new car, madam, with friendly customer service available 7 days a week.
Hello, this is Cinch. How can I help you?
An expert walkthrough of your new car when it's delivered. And a faff-free 14-day money-back guarantee. Hardly surprising Cinch is rated excellent on Trustpilot. So join the nation in absolutely cinching it. Search Cinch and buy your next car today. Returns subject to mileage restrictions, T's and C's apply.
We're not a bit Spanish. We're not vaguely Spanish. Somewhat Spanish or Spanish. Estrella Galicia Cerveza is 100% Spanish. Just look for the label. Brew slowly for 5 generations in A Coruña, using the finest Galician ingredients. So as a 100% authentic Spanish beer, it's time we say, cheers to the pretenders. We'll take it from here. Estrella Galicia. Spanish, not Spanish.
Hi all.
How are we doing?
Afternoon.
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 Let's get this meeting
started.
Come on.
Where's the tablet gone?
When everyone's home, EE Work Mode prioritizes your broadband for working from home with faster speeds in more places than anyone else. So,
Yeah, I've got you loud and clear as a bell.
this is broadband made for working from home. Search EE Broadband, powered by BT.
Work mode with EE Smart Hub Plus. To verify, see ee.co.uk/claims.
EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Fancy some extra fries for extra time? Order McDelivery now on the McDonald's app and get tasty reward points delivered too. 18 plus. Rewards account required. Participating restaurants. Subject to availability. Delivery fees and terms apply.
From the touchline to the terraces.
And it's in.
The League Two playoff semi-finals.
Live on Talksport 2.
Crew gave us one brilliant comeback story to book their place at Wembley last night. Can MK do the same and serve up an even bigger miracle this evening? Oh, and Tucker has passed it straight to Jay Williams. Williams with a shot into the bottom corner. And Crawley have the early goal that may just have sealed their first ever visit to Wembley.
That is a disaster for MK Dons.
Looking wobbly here because Orsi has stolen the ball away from Harvey and he's shooting towards the bottom corner, and Crawley Town have their second. They need 5 now. MK Dons. It's another defensive disaster class from Milton Keynes Dons.
Crawley Town get those trips booked to Wembley. You're heading to the Arch next weekend.
Towards the far post, it's a good delivery and it's been turned in by Max Dean. And maybe there is still life in Milton Keynes Dons. It is MK Dons 1, Crawley 2, the visitors in cruise control. Certainly are 5-1 on aggregate. Crawley lead. Absolutely incredible first half for them. The home fans sit in stunned silence. The MK Dons substitutes all out warming up, and I wonder if Mike Williamson may ring the changes at half-time. Second half commentary to come here from Stadium MK. Don't forget, tomorrow on Talksport we have both first legs from the Championship semi-finals. 2 absolute humdingers in prospect. Norwich against Leeds in the Daniel Farker derby. That's a midday kickoff, and followed swiftly by West Bromwich Albion against Southampton underway at 2:15. Both those games live on Talksport ahead of the Sunday session that comes live from Old Trafford. Arsenal needing a win to go back top of the Premier League after Manchester City won 4-0 at Fulham, live on Talksport this morning. And earlier today here on Talksport 2, we brought you live an exclusive national radio commentary of Tottenham against Burnley. The Clarets needed a win to postpone relegation for another week and got off to a dream start when Jakob Brun-Larsen put them 1-0 up. As they've done time and again, though, Spurs came back to win by 2-1. Burnley relegated straight back to the Championship. And after the match, Talksport's Sam Ellard spoke to Burnley manager Vincent Kompany.
Vincent, appreciate your time. Just your overall thoughts and reflections on the game.
Look, if we just talk about the game in itself, then the team fought hard. They had a go. We had chances. We obviously knew that it was going to be a tough game, but I think we started ever so well, especially given the fact that we score in the first half. And then we kept going till the end. I think that's also been something that we've done this season. I think we've kept going. Like, it's a team that is alive in games, but right now we have to deal with the disappointment, of course, of the result.
What was the dressing room like there in sort of the 10-15 minutes after? Did you have much say to the players, or kind of more just?
I don't want to see any sulking or any of that. Get on with it. Next season starts tomorrow, and I know for a fact that next season can be absolutely exciting, but we have to build that energy up from day one. I don't think we have time to go on holiday and then come back and say, let's pick it up. No, we build the energy from day one. It starts tomorrow. We have a little bit of a chance that we have now a week that we can still be together and keep the standards high, so that we're leaving on a positive to put ourselves again as soon as we can back in this position, being in the Premier League.
And of course, you and a lot of the players part of the reason why Burnley are in the Premier League in the first place. So I guess kind of going into next season, that will stand you and the lads in pretty good stead.
I mean, if you compare the rebuild job that we had to do when we arrived at the club, I think it was a whole transition in terms of players aging and players' contracts running out, and so we lost a lot of the core of the squad, and we had to really rebuild that in the summer. That's not the case now. So we have a good squad. We have numbers. We have quality. We have players that still will improve, and they will have benefited from this season. So for as far as I'm concerned, I'm disappointed today, but tomorrow there's absolutely no chance that I'm going to even carry this for another day with me. It's all about just getting ourselves again in this game.
There's a company there reacting to Burnley's immediate relegation back to the Championship. I described Adrian Clarke, Sheffield United, in our Access All Areas podcast a couple of weeks ago as a stain on the Premier League. I'm not sure Burnley have been much better.
Not a lot, no. Massive disappointment, Burnley, because they ripped it up last year in the Championship.
And spent a shed load last summer.
But on what? I think that's what you have to look at. You have to look at the recruitment and also the strategy of the recruitment and say they made a hash of it because they didn't buy any Premier League experience. They went for a lot of unproven players that had never done it before in the highest level in English football. They basically swapped one bunch that were really confident and fluid for another bunch that might be just a teeny bit better, but they had to start from scratch. And by the time they got going, it was way too late for Burnley. And they've made some huge mistakes this season, and they absolutely do deserve to go down.
Yeah, Burnley relegated along with Sheffield United. Sheffield United conceding for the 101st time this season this afternoon. They lost 1-0 at Everton. Everton having a terrific end to the season despite all their off-field problems. Luton effectively down as well, 3 points behind Forest, who lost 3-2 at home to Chelsea in the tea time game, but because of the goal difference it would take some freak results on the final day for them to stay up. And does that just show the chasm now between the top of the Championship and the bottom of the Premier League?
Yeah, there's definitely a chasm. I would agree with that, but I also think Luton could have stayed up, like a little bit like Burnley. If Burnley had been more smarter with their recruitment, I think they could have stayed up. With Luton, what surprised me was in January the sort of inactivity.
Did they wave the white flag in January?
Well, why though? Because they weren't down. Everton and Forest were always going to get these points deductions. The issue is conceding goals, and again, it's very much like Burnley. They had Premier League rookies everywhere you looked, particularly at the back. Look at the impact Ross Barkley made in midfield. Look at the impact Sambi Lokonga made in midfield. 2 Premier League experienced players, didn't have any at the back, and that for me was the problem. That's the problem area of the team, and they were just too naive and just actually not good enough at the back to survive. I think it's a shame because I like their committed style of play, and they were always worth a goal.
Talk to us about the Premier League game at Old Trafford tomorrow. Very quickly, Manchester City made light work of Fulham, 4-0 winners at Craven Cottage, live on Talksport. They're back to the top of the table. Doesn't really change much as far as Arsenal are concerned, because if City win all their games, Arsenal won't win the title, but they will want to take it to the last day. And to do that, you feel they have to win at Old Trafford?
Got to win at Old Trafford to take it to the final day. And look, based on form, Arsenal should win this game easily. Form doesn't always count in this game, we know that. United have talent in forward areas, which is always, dangerous. But in terms of the levels of where Manchester United are at the moment and where Arsenal are at the moment, they're almost not playing the same game. They're so far apart. So it will take a stinking Arsenal performance and a huge improvement for Manchester United for it not to be a win for Arsenal, in my opinion.
And as you are our EFL expert, what do you make of the first leg of those Championship semi-finals live on Talksport tomorrow? We've got Norwich against Leeds and then West Brom Southampton.
Fascinating, because how do Leeds respond? Norwich are a very strong home side, we know that. So personally, I think Norwich have to win the home leg. to stand a chance of going through, because I wouldn't fancy them greatly at Ellen Road. And West Bromwich Albion, it's a similar case. I think Southampton will outscore West Bromwich Albion over the 2 legs, because Albion don't have a lot of punch. But what would worry me if I was a Saints fan is Carlos Corberán, who is absolutely West Bromwich Albion's biggest asset. He is a smart cookie, and even though they were outplayed by the Saints in the league, it wouldn't surprise me if Corberán came up with a clever game plan to nullify them at the Hawthorns.
Yeah, those games live on Talksport tomorrow afternoon. I wonder what clever game plan Mike Williamson has planned for the second half. MK Dons 2-1 down on the night here against Crawley, 5-1 down on aggregate. Ellis Harrison is coming on for the visitors, and it's a very attacking change because Lewis Bate, a central midfielder, is making way for an out-and-out centre forward. Ellis Harrison, who's got some big goals from the bench already this season. There's going to be a change for Crawley as well for the start of this second half, and it is Joy McQuainer who is coming on, and he's replaced Will Wright. Wright, who went down under a heavy challenge towards the end of the first half.
Yeah, you hope Wright's okay, because he's a big player for them. Excellent defender, scores goals, gets forward, scores. So yeah, they'll be hoping that he's going to be okay for Wembley. I would imagine that one's a precaution, and maybe the other one, the other change was a precaution too, because Forster is another player they would love to have in that starting 11 next weekend.
Well, here we go for the second half. MK Dons have 45 minutes to score 4 goals and save their promotion dream.
What a half it would be if they were to manage it. And look, you can see there's intent. They're already playing at a faster tempo.
Well, they're basically playing with 4 forwards on the pitch as well. And here down the right-hand side comes Lofthouse, looking for Harrison in the centre. I guess the danger when you flood too many men forward is that you can be hit on the counter. Jeremy Kelly linking up with his namesake Liam on this left-hand side for Crawley. As Adrian Clarke has already alluded to, a determination in the eyes of the MK Dons players for this second half. They now have Marshall in goal, the back 3 of Tucker, O'Hara and Harvey, Lofthouse and Tomlinson, the wing-backs. I wonder if Gilby is going to drop in alongside Payne in midfield, and then Harrison, Wern and Dean, the front 3.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, look, it's going to be Payne really sitting with Wern and Gilby in front, and then the front 2. Look, why not? I guess they've got to get the ball forward a little bit earlier. They've got to put Crawley under pressure. And look, Crawley, look at the way they're set up here. They have left themselves 2v2 at the back, and that's the confidence they have.
Crawley team for the second half. Adai in goal, McKenna, Conroy and Maguire the back 3, Gordon and Jeremy Kelly the wing backs, Williams and Liam Kelly in midfield, Campbell, Orsi and Lolos in attack. One more goal for Crawley would absolutely end the conversation. You were at Peterborough last season, or at Hillsborough, I should say, when they came back from 4-0 down and won 5-1 in the second leg. So it can happen.
Best game I've ever been to. Just wild. And it can happen. You can have these crazy matches, these crazy halves. It wouldn't be the first time a team scored 4 in a half if they were to manage this. You just think in the context of what we've seen so far, it feels so unlikely, but it is something that's happened before, and maybe just not in a playoff semi-final.
If they get one, you wonder how that might change the main mindset of the Crawley players. I have to say, at the moment, they've looked cool, calm and collective.
I've loved their mindset here tonight. They've been proactive. They've gone to press. There's been nothing passive about Crawley Town. Here they are again. Williams steps in. Kelly, defensive midfielder, but there he is, ferreting inside the final
third.
third.
Edge of the area. Opportunity maybe. Slides it forward for Liam Kelly. Oh, what a wonderful move! And Danilo Orsi taps in his second, and Crawley's third. And if there was any doubt, there isn't any more. For the first time in their history, Crawley Town are heading to Wembley.
Called it off. Crawley are in the final. That is magnificent football. It's lovely. Williams steps out from a defensive midfield position to win the ball. He tees it up to Kelly, and Kelly goes on a little run. It's a give and go, and then Horsey does what he's done all season, converts from close range. That is teamwork. That is precision, passing football from Scott Lindsay's Crawley Town, and they deserve to go through.
And the way that Liam Kelly celebrated the assist was like he'd scored the goal himself, by the way.
Yeah, he was proud of himself, and I think he should be proud of his performances across these two legs. You know, he's an experienced player, but you can see he's revelling in this. That was lovely football.
Absolutely wonderful move from Crawley Town. They've scored some fantastic goals over the two games, and, well, just as MK Dons gave themselves a glimmer of hope right at the end of the first half with that Dean goal, it's been extinguished very early in the second. And again, that's testament to Crawley's character, mental fortitude and their footballing ability. You won't see many better goals than that. They want a penalty though, and the referee points for a goal kick. It was a coming together inside the Crawley area. No surprise, Dean right at the forefront of it. He went down under the challenge from Gordon. Referee says get back to your feet. It's a goal kick.
Well, he's not giving up, is he, Max Dean? I mean, he is everywhere. Someone better tell him the score, because he's charging around like it's going to happen. But full credit to him for that.
Someone better tell me the score. It's 6-1 on aggregate now, correct?
It's 6-1 on aggregate. They need to win 6-3 now, MK Dons, to take this to extra time. 5 goals required.
Wow.
It's been a comprehensive pasting from Crawley, hasn't it?
Over the two games. And they will go to Wembley in absolutely buoyant mood to play Crook after their comeback victory live on Talksport 2 last night from 2-0 down the first leg. They won 2-0 away from home and went through on penalties. I'm going to see another couple of changes here, and I wonder if he's resting players, Scott Lindsay, for the final.
Well, you can now. You can. It's safe. They're not losing it from here, and I do think it's about saving players' legs. And obviously giving others that have been on the fringe a little bit of game time, ahead of Wembley, because they might need them.
Jack Rolls, the Cypriot, former Tottenham youngster, is one of those coming on. He's done really well, Lofthouse at the other end, to keep the ball from going out for a goal kick, but in doing so only hooked it back into Crawley possession. Jeremy Kelly forward to Lolos in the centre circle. Kelly has made a run ahead of him. And Lolos back to Maguire inside his own half of the field. Neat football again here from Crawley, but it's won back by Harrison. And MK Dons will try and build an attack of their own down this near side with Lofthouse. He's there ahead of Kelly momentarily, but he stuck to the task, Kelly, and it's cleared upfield by Maguire. Ronan Darcy, who got the third goal off the bench in the first game, also coming on.
Yeah. But they're not sitting on this, Crawley. I think they're going for more goals here. At no stage.
I've got to say, that's ridiculous from Lofthouse. He just wrestled Lolos to the floor. That has to be a yellow card.
Yeah, it's poor, isn't it?
It's Harvey, actually.
Yeah, it's Harvey.
It was.
And it's Lolos, of course, who picked up that shoulder injury in the first half. Is he holding it again? He might be. But at no stage are Crawley saying, we're going to just sit here and we're going to just knock it around and we're going to be defensive. They're playing like it's 0-0. And I admire them for that.
Well, Lolos is going off now, presumably, I think, to protect that injury.
Yeah, Harvey got a yellow card.
Well, he had to for that. I mean, wasn't football, was it? It's got to be said. Just trying to see who the second Crawley change will be. We have a little bit of breaking news to bring you here on Talksport 2. Crystal Palace manager Oliver Glasner committing his future to the club following interest from Bayern Munich. Tell you what, they're working their way down the list, Bayern. Maybe they'll be knocking on your door, Adrian Clarke, very shortly.
I'll take it. I mean, that's... I didn't even know that he was being linked. I mean, he's a very good manager, clearly.
I'm not going to Bayern Munich either, by the way, before they get worried back at post.
But look, it's astonishing that Bayern Munich are looking at Crystal Palace and thinking we'll take their manager. It's, even being linked with Ten Hag after the season he's having. It's just crazy.
Jack Rolls is on for Adam Campbell, so double change out wide for Crawley. Darcy replacing Lolos, who certainly leaves the pitch battered and bruised. I can see that MK Dons are about to bring on MJ Williams as well, the former Liverpool man.
Yeah, he's a good player, MJ Williams. I think he was at Bolton as well. They've got some good players at the club, you know. MK. A lot of key players are injured. That must be said, but they've got a good squad.
It's been a difficult playoff semi-final for the home side. They trail by 3-1. Here's 6-1 on aggregate, and Crawley passing the ball around with confidence inside their own half. Jeremy Kelly into the substitute rolls back to Adai, the goalkeeper. Apart from the Dean tap-in at the end of the first half, he's been relatively untroubled.
Yeah, it's one great save, wasn't there, from Tomlinson through bodies. That was terrific reflexes, but nothing from close range. I'd like to know the touches in the box for MK. It doesn't feel like they've had very many.
55 on the clock. Olays from the away supporters away to our left. Those travelling Crawley fans who've made the relatively short trip from West Sussex. It's MK Dons on the attack, and they want an offside flag, and they get it eventually. Crawley Town, Gilby frustrated over on the far side, but he was off.
Yeah, the linesman on this side has been conservative in his use of the flag. I think there have been times where players have been offside and he's erred on the side of caution, but on that occasion he had to, even though he put the flag up late. But yeah, Williams is coming on. We've got another change here as well. Tesgelt coming on.
Yeah, both came on in the first leg. MJ Williams, who's had a lot of injuries over the course of his career that have stunted his progress, and Emre Tesgelt, the 18-year-old on loan from Stoke, scored in each of his last 2 games at the end of the league season. Tesgelt. You could take anyone off, couldn't you, in a white shirt, really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. In a way, for some it might be a relief. Jack Payne comes off. I think MJ Williams is more suited to sort of having to sit there and prompt from deep than Jack Payne. For me, always more of an attacking midfielder.
Stephen Wern, who's disappointed over the course of the 2 legs, is making way as well.
Yeah, he didn't do a great deal, did he, Wern? And that was a surprise, because he's another that's had a decent season, you have to say. 4 goals, 6 assists. He's not played every week, but he's a decent player. He's in the team at the moment. I think I missed Dan Kemp, player that's here. He was on loan at Swindon, where he's brilliant.
Here's Ellis Harrison trying to bulldoze his way in space on the edge of the area. Jeremy Kelly stops him in his tracks. Then Liam Kelly knocks it away from Williams. He's been brilliant over the 2 games. Liam Kelly, absolutely.
He's not big, is he? He's tiny.
So experienced. They played at Reading in the Championship, had a spell at Feyenoord as well.
Yeah, he's a good footballer, a really good footballer. Good game intelligence and a proper workhorse in the middle of the park, but with quality.
57 minutes played, and you do feel that we are just playing out time now. MK Dons 5 behind on aggregate, 3-1 on the night, 6-1 over the 2 legs. Chance for Gilby to get a cross in though, looking for Harrison, and it's just swept away by Gordon.
Yeah, the wing-backs haven't done enough, have they, tonight? They should have been playing like wingers. Give me the ball. And they should have been putting a stream of balls into the box. But really, they've been on the edge of the game. It's been... And then the match has really been won in midfield. Down that central spine with Kelly and Williams and Horsey playing off the front. Lolos as well, outstanding. That bunch of players in the middle of the pitch have been just outstanding for Crawley.
Neatly brought down on the chest by Lofthouse in the right wing position for MK Dons. Williams back into the centre circle now. He picked up possession from Tesgelt. What's impressed me about Crawley is their work rate out of possession. They've stuck to their shape well, made it difficult for MK Dons to play around them. Here's Tesgelt forward to Lofthouse. Lofthouse 10 yards or so outside the box, comes infield. Immediately met by Maguire, so back out to the right and O'Hora. Tesgill in the yellow footwear can't hold it up. And then Williams' ball forward is cleared away by Maguire. Being urged to shoot is Dan Harvey, but plays it into Gilby on the edge of the box instead. They've got plenty of white shirts forward here, and the cross fizzed in by Tomlinson, blocked by Kellen Gordon, and out for MK Dons' first corner of the second half.
Yeah, more crosses really from Tomlinson on the left wing in the last 5 minutes than we saw in the previous 55. So yeah, they're getting going.
Corner routine created a shooting opportunity, and it's one that has gone well wide of the upright in the end.
Yeah, it was a decent in-swinger. I'll see who was on the end of that in the end, but the flag went up for offside fairly early.
So a reminder, as things stand, Crawley Town will be taking on Crew in the League 2 playoff final, live and only on national radio on Talksport 2. Ian Dance from Perry Groves, former Arsenal winger, your commentary team. And that, of course, ahead of live final day Premier League action across the Talksport network. And the previous day, the next Saturday, we'll have the League 1 playoff final. Clarke will be there at Wembley. And that one is on Talksport as Bolton take on Oxford United.
Yeah, tasty game, that. Really good game. There should be a huge crowd. Two very good teams. I'd make Bolton the favourites, but I'll tell you what, Oxford, tough nut to crack. If they can hold out Peterborough, they can certainly tame Bolton Wanderers too. So it's going to be very competitive final.
And they found form at the right time at the end of the season. You can't say that about Crawley, actually. They only won one of their last 5 league matches, but they've managed to reset and been absolutely terrific over the course of these 2 games against an MK Dons side who were well ahead of everybody else in the playoffs in terms of points, in 4th place. But it looks like another season in the bottom tier for them, and their playoff hoodoo will continue. 6 times they've made the semi-finals, never have qualified for Wembley. Crawley will be there for the first time in their history, unless MK Dons can find 5 goals in the final half an hour. That was a poor challenge from Jay Williams, right in the centre of his half, and he's going to pick up a yellow card, the opening goal scorer tonight for Crawley. Dean, the player who went down, strikes me as the type of guy who could start a fight in an empty room.
Yeah,
Max
he
Dean
loves it. He looks a tearaway, doesn't he? But he's fully committed in every run he makes.
Here's Tomlinson, good ball from him, punched away by the goalkeeper. Gilby with a follow-up shot, straight into the arms of Adai. Does well actually to smother the ball, with Emre Tesgill waiting to pounce, but Tomlinson still believes he's put in some dangerous balls down that left-hand side the last few minutes.
He's a very good player, and I was surprised that they didn't get more of the ball to him in that first half. But yeah, he's been really, really strong last 5-10 minutes down the left. Good ammunition, and all of a sudden they're posing more of a threat, MK Dons. But I have to say, Adai has made good decisions with his saves this evening.
Certainly been the entertainers, MK Dons, in recent weeks. 22 goals scored, 27 conceded in their last 8 matches alone.
I mean, that's the goals against is a massive red flag, isn't it? And that's probably the reason why they're heading out. They just haven't been good enough defensively, haven't been good enough without the ball across the legs to see off Crawley. Maybe the reason they sat off in that first leg is that they don't feel they're good enough as a pressing side to contain a team like Crawley, who are good enough to play through you. And I haven't seen Crawley, in the flesh tonight. They're very good, aren't they, at playing through the lines?
Oh, and they're trying to press high again here and force a mistake. It was Jack Rolls dispossessing Jack Tucker, who's had a really difficult night, and Tucker sliding back gives away the foul. I think he got a yellow card for his trouble.
Did, yeah. It's again
tough evening for him.
Tough for Tucker. Yeah, it's again it's Crawley Town pressing. You wouldn't know. They're 6-1 up on aggregate. They are tigerish. They want more, and they don't want to settle. They don't want to give MK Dons the initiative here. They want to keep going for the jugular, and I'm so impressed with their work rate and their attitude.
Liam Kelly stands over the ball midway inside the Milton Keynes half. I think he'll have to go down to the standout performer over the 2 games. Deep free kick towards the far post. Only cleared to the edge of the MK penalty area. It's put back in towards Williams. He couldn't quite get his head on it. It's a dangerous ball fizzed in by Jeremy Kelly, and any kind of clear contact and Williams might just have claimed his 3rd goal over the 2 games.
Yeah, it was a peach of a ball, wasn't it? Absolutely superb. Lovely in-swing of it. It's just always bending away from the Crawley attackers that are looking to get on the end of it.
I think we're going to see another Crawley change in a moment. Here, meanwhile, here's MJ Williams dropping deep into the back line and then playing it forward for Harvey to get up and join the attack. Out to Tomlinson on that far side again. They've got 4 white shirts in the centre. Harvey has stayed forward, but it's volleyed away by Kellen Gordon, the Crawley substitute, up towards Orsley, nodded away by Tucker at the expense of a throw-in on halfway. He's just giving his squad here a taste of the action, I think, Scott Lindsay, in the final 25 minutes of the game. 3-1 up Crawley here tonight, 6-1 on aggregate. And reminder, we have the Championship playoff semi-finals tomorrow. 12 o'clock kickoff at Carrow Road, Norwich against Leeds. That's followed at 2:15, West Brom, Southampton. And then the Sunday session live from Old Trafford. Can Manchester United ruin Arsenal's title chances?
I hope not.
May have said that with you in mind. Cerula's come on for Crawley. And making his way off all the way over on the far side of the field. Is that Jay Williams who's gone off? Scorer of the opening goal?
Yeah, well, he's on a yellow. You don't want to pick up a second yellow, do you?
Mentioned Leeds in action tomorrow. Cerula, who's just come on, was one of the Crawley goal scorers when they beat Leeds, then in the Premier League in the FA Cup a couple of seasons ago at the Broadfield Stadium. They also had a 5th round tie at Old Trafford recently. Ellis Harrison with a ball into the area, and it's a penalty. Handball given against Liam Kelly. The referee whistled immediately. I don't think the assistant on this near side flagged for it, but maybe a lifeline for the MK Dons.
It's a really soft penalty. It comes from absolutely nowhere. Harrison down the right rather, just clips a hopeful ball in, and it may well have hit the arm. It's certainly not deliberate, but the referee didn't need a second invitation to give it. And look, a little bit of pride at stake here, and Max Dean has said, let me have it.
Max Dean looking for his 2nd goal on the evening, his 17th for the season. The former Leeds youngster up against Corey Adai, who's really enhanced his reputation over the 2 games. We'll still have a quarter of the match to play, and the Crawley lead would be down to 4 again. Max Dean, right-footed save by Adai to his right. That's a brilliant stop from the Crawley goalkeeper. And even that route back into the game is quickly closed for Milton Keynes Dons.
Sums it up, doesn't it, for MK Dons? It's not your season, it's not your night, it's not your playoff semi-final. What a good keeper Corey Adai is. What a good keeper he is. He has had an outstanding season.
Brilliant save from the Crawley goalkeeper. And then a shot hammered high over the crossbar from Tesgale. They are shooting on sight now, Milton Keynes Dons. But you feel their hope is a forlorn one. That last lifeline as Max Dean kicks the ball away. There were 2 balls on the pitch, so I think he was, in fairness, just trying to get the goalkeeper to get on with it. He missed a glaring chance right at the start of the first leg. Max Dean got his goal in first half stoppage time to reduce the deficit, but he had the chance to get it back to 3-2, back to 6-2 on aggregate, and he has been denied by what you have to say was a brilliant save from Adai. 22 minutes to go, and more of the home supporters are heading back to their cars Big swathe of empty seats over on the far side of the ground that was full before kick-off that lower tier. They know their race is run. And yet another ill-fated playoff campaign for the Buckinghamshire side. And here come Crawley, looking to add more insult to injury. The cross steered in towards Rolls, but straight into the arms of Philip Marshall. You sense there could be more goals in this for Crawley. Rolls out to the left-hand side to Cerula. Cerula into the penalty area. His cross is charged down by Lofthouse and behind for what I think is Crawley's first corner. Amazingly, Adrian Clarke.
It's sarcastic cheers there for the goalkeeper. It's an awful situation, isn't it? It's not Philip Marshall's fault that he was picked tonight, but I think the fans have told the manager there what they think about that decision. He isn't the reason that they're heading, out and that they're going to stay in League Two next season. But there's a real resentment, I think, among the supporters.
It wasn't great from the goalkeeper. Kelly's corner punched away uncomfortably.
He's not had a good night, Philip Marshall, but it's not just him.
I think it was a bizarre move. Having been at the first leg, I didn't come away from it thinking, well, the goalkeeper's a problem. You just pile on the pressure on someone right at the start of his career on loan from Aston Villa, hasn't played much first team football. To chuck him in to a semi-final that you have to win by 3 goals, I think is asking for trouble.
It's going to be a regret. And I'm looking at Mike Williamson down there beneath us, very isolated figure. He's sat on his own on the end of the dugout. None of the subs are anywhere near him. He's just deep in his thoughts. I feel a bit sorry for him, but the decisions he's made tonight in regards to team selection have absolutely backfired.
Crawley Town fans in brilliant voice away to our left. To be fair, the MK Don supporters behind Adai's goal are still trying to whip up an atmosphere. But the Olays will tell you that Crawley have possession on the halfway line.
I'd say about a quarter of the home fans have left. If you look across the
it was
way,
nowhere near full to start with, was it?
No, it was a really sparse crowd for a playoff semi-final. It was a disappointing crowd to see some of the MK Dons fans doing the Poznan at the top there, facing the scoreboard. A little bit D-Mob happy.
It was a brilliant picture, actually. Noel Gallagher, who always turns up when City are trying to win trophies. He was in with the away fans at Craven Cottage. They were all doing the Poznan, and he was just this isolated figure.
He refused
facing the pitch.
He's his own man. He's his own man, is Noel.
Certainly not a sheep, is he?
No. What a band. My favourite from back in the day.
Liam Kelly's been caught. And wins a free kick, right corner of the penalty area.
They've just got to manage the game now. Crawley, make sure they don't get any injuries. And, just do the right thing. But they've been doing the right thing right across these 2 legs. Obviously, they conceded 1 goal from a free kick. That aside, how many mistakes have they made? Even the penalty, for me, wasn't a mistake. It's the ball blasted at somebody's arm.
And it wasn't a bad miss. It was a good save from the keeper.
A very good save. Corey Adai. I think he's massive as well, isn't he? Good with his feet. Excellent shot stopper. Stats are off the scale.
You sense he might be playing his trade much higher before too long. Of course, Crawley hope themselves to be back in League One next season. They'll play Crewe in the final, barring something quite extraordinary in these last 18 minutes, live on Talksport 2 next Sunday. 1 o'clock kick-off ahead of the final day of the Premier League season. The league title very much still up for grabs, although the relegation place is decided earlier today. Burnley and Luton all but mathematically down. Short free kick. Darcy with the ball in, scored a deflected goal at the end of the first leg that really actually was quite decisive in taking this tie away from MK Dons. Darcy, and he's in possession now down by the right corner flag. Under the cover of darkness here in Milton Keynes.
The Olays are out now. Very, very confident, just keeping the ball in a nice little triangle over in that far quadrant.
And the ball is back with Philip Marshall, the MK goalkeeper. Long ball upfield, looking for Ellis Harrison, who's got a bit of space to flick that on towards Dean, and stepping in there was Mukwena down the right-hand side. He skips over the challenge from Gilby. They've got a chance to play their way through again here.
Super.
Into Kelly, over the halfway line. He's got options right and left. Horsey in the centre. Kelly towards the edge of the area. Into Rolls. Rolls with a right-footed shot, and the goalkeeper spilt it, and it hits the post.
More
well, that would have been another
judgment.
Calamity from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, more by luck than judgment, that save. Goodness me. That was not convincing. It's a stinger from Rolls, but it's kind of straight at the keeper. His wrists are bent back, and he just deflects it unconvincingly onto the post. Yeah, he looks a bag of nerves, Philip Marshall.
It'll be interesting how Mike Williamson explains that decision after the game. Here's Rolls again, scoops the ball out to Cerula. The subs fancy getting themselves on the goal scoring action sense. Cerula to Williams on the edge of the area for Crawley Town. MK Dons look
they're broken,
absolutely lost out there.
Yeah, they're broken. It's kind of like watching Man United at Palace the other night. They're offering nothing. They're not pressing. They're not keeping their positions. Basically, it's keep ball from Crawley, but they're slicing through down the middle with incredible ease. I think they're a great footballing team, Crawley. You know, based on this form, you know, they'll love Wembley.
Liam Kelly back into his own half. I think they're just making sure that every outfield player gets a touch of the ball here.
But look at the forward line. There's 5 up front here for Crawley.
Well, it must be a nice position to be in when you know you're 6-1 up on aggregate, 3-1 on the night.
Yeah, it's 3-2-5. That's what they're playing here. And MK Dons completely flummoxed.
There aren't too many teams who've been able to play with this kind of freedom in the second leg away from home in a playoff semi-final. That's credit to the hard work that Crawley did on Tuesday night, and to a large extent in the opening 49 minutes of this game to go 3-1 up and really take the tie away from Milton Keynes. They have it back in their own half now with Conroy, the captain. He'll be leading the team out at Wembley a week tomorrow. And the ball back to Adai, midway inside the penalty area. As the away fans are going through their Wembley songbook once more here on Talksport 2. Cerula down the line to Kelly. Rolls has made a purposeful run ahead of him. Horsey looking for a hat-trick if he can get the pass. Sliding in was Harvey to stop what looked a really good attack again from Crawley Town.
Yeah, they're just finding all the little pockets of space, and they're not little pockets, are they, Alex? They're wide open spaces right now because their hearts are broken. MK, they're just looking towards the final whistle now. They're crushed, and Crawley can do what they like, but Liam Kelly buzzing around. He always pulls to the left as well, doesn't he? I like how he does that. He sort of pulls those central midfielders wide. Do they go with him or do they pass him on? They haven't really got to grips with it at all. MK over the 2 legs.
Scott Lindsay responding to the urges of the Crawley fans up in that second tier away to our left to give them a wave. What a proud moment for him. And I guess you alluded to it, Adrian Clarke in the first half when he leads them out at the National Stadium. That will vindicate his decision to take what looked like a gamble leaving Swindon for Crawley, who at that time were in all kinds of problems off the pitch.
Yeah, look, Swindon a big, much bigger club than Crawley, but he obviously saw in the owners, somebody to work with or some people to work with that he could do it, and he's obviously been given license to go out there and build his own team in his mould. And look, if the brief was to bring winning football, but that's easy on the eye, that's heavy possession, attack-minded football, well, he's absolutely nailed it. They're such a well-coached side, and I think Swindon's loss is absolutely Crawley's game.
13 minutes of this game to play. MK Dons 1, Crawley 3, 6-1. The visitors lead on aggregate here on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. Both those finals next weekend, live on the Talksport network. Saturday on Talksport, Bolton Oxford in the League One final. And then next Sunday, it will be Crawley against Crook here on Talksport 2. MK Don still looking to salvage some pride. Jinking run there from Emre Tezgel into the penalty area, cleared away by Maguire and out for a throw. Down by the right corner flag, the seconds ticking slowly by, I think, as far as the home supporters are concerned. Many of them stood arms folded behind the goal. Crowd of 10,053 here tonight. 1,630 have made their way from Sussex. And that journey, more than worthwhile for the travelling Crawley supporters.
Cool, you bet it is. Yeah, they're loving it. Just looking at some of the match stats, it's amazing. Given how magnificent Crawley have been. They've had 6 shots here tonight. 5 shots on target.
3 have gone in.
Yeah, just super efficient. But that doesn't tell anywhere near the story, because I think some of their play between both boxes has been exceptional. I do.
Liam Kelly's a contender for man of the match again, isn't he?
He is, yeah. I think that's who I'd give it to. I would. It feels like there's 2 Liam Kellys out there, and I know there are 2 Kellys in the Crawley side. There's Jeremy Kelly as well, who's also played well, but yeah, he is everywhere. The little man inside the heart of that engine room.
And they're still hunting high up the pitch, trying to force the errors. Marshall with the ball upfield for Milton Keynes. Maguire immediately puts it back into the home half of the field, and down the left hand side is Rolls. Horsey waits in the centre. Rolls cutting infield on his right foot and loses the ball, then wins it again. Kelly wants it played to the edge of the area. It's into Horsey again, who's got room to turn here. Horsey, can he get a shot away? Rolls does, into the bottom corner, and that sets the seal on a historic victory for Crawley Town. Jack Rolls off the bench makes it 4-1 on the night, 7-1 on aggregate. They are in 7th heaven, the travelling fans.
Well, Crawley Town, take a bow. This is a demolition job. They have wiped the floor with Milton Keynes Dons across these 2 games, and tonight they may have only had 7 shots, but 4 have found the back of the net. And this is as good as it gets for a club like Crawley. Well, it's not quite as good as it gets. That might come next Sunday, but this is up there for them.
Mike Williamson stunned. Scott Lindsay ecstatic. This is beyond his and every Crawley Town player's wildest dreams. Jack Rolls, the latest to get his name on the score sheet. Not scored since New Year's Day. He has now, and it's the goal that absolutely confirms their place at Wembley, although in truth that was ratified a long time ago.
Yeah, it was. He was really determined to score as well. He ran in down the left hand side, and he could easily have slipped in a teammate into the box. He was a little bit greedy. He held onto the ball, and you thought he's lost the ball, and it sort of fell his way. He kept it alive. So did Danilo Horsey. And then he gets lucky. The bounce of the ball off Horsey falls Rolls' way, and he just drills it low and hard into the near post. No chance that time for Philip Marshall. But yeah, look, I've got to say, this doesn't. It's not a flattering scoreline. For me, this is kind of how it should be. There's been a big gap between these 2 teams this evening, and of course in the previous game.
Super Crawley Town is the cry from those travelling hordes. A very special night for the Red Devils. A very disappointing one for Milton Keynes Dons. Ploughed so much money into this football club, and it ultimately is going to come to nothing again in the playoffs. Another agonising semi-final defeat. And that was a reckless challenge from Williams as Cerula was breaking clear. A frustrated tackle from the substitute. Another yellow card.
That's naughty. That is naughty. Cerula, he's looking at a game at Wembley next Sunday. He's trying to take him out. Just a few minutes left to play here with the game done and dusted. That one might have been for the MK Dons fans, just to show I care. I'm with you. I'll give everything, but don't go about your work like that. Win the tackle, make it clean. He was never going to win that ball.
There aren't many MK Dons fans left in the stadium. Look at that far side.
This is true. Yeah,
you can literally see MK Dons spelt out in letters in the seats because there's nobody in them.
Yeah. So there was 10,000. So there's 8,500 home supporters at the start, yeah, you're probably saying there's 3 left, 3.5.
At least we'll get out of the car park.
This is true, yeah. It's a bonus. But look, yeah, it's humbling. What a horrible way to end the season. You know, it's the last home game. You go off on your summer holidays with the tail between your legs. And look, some of these players might now be released. This might be their last game in the colours. And yeah, and it's unlucky because they were so close to automatic promotion. They're right in the mix until the last couple of weeks. But ultimately, they haven't been good enough.
Williams releasing Gordon down the right-hand side. Goalkeeper Marshall had a good starting position, clears into that empty lower tier over on the far touchline. We played 84 minutes. It's MK Dons 1, Crawley 4 here on Talksport 2, 7-1 on aggregate to the visitors. And I think this is one of those nights, if you're an MK Dons player, you don't want the fourth official to put up too many added minutes at the end of the game. Yeah,
you want a mercy time put on the board. You want 1 or 2, and we might see that. We haven't got long to wait, but I think ever since that penalty miss, or the save rather, from Corey Adai, they've given nothing. They've given up the ghost. MK Dons, their body language has changed, and yeah, they just cannot wait for the final whistle.
And they've been absolutely schooled by Crawley over the 2 games. Darcy on the halfway line for the visitors. One back by Dean, and he hurls himself to the ground, and he wants to get himself in a fight with Jack Rolls. It's a free kick. It's a nothing incident.
Yeah, he reared up, didn't he? And then I think he realised, actually, what's the point? And I think Jack Rolls was smiling, so they laughed it off in the end. But yeah, Max Daly's definitely the sort, I would imagine, that gets in a few tear-ups in training.
Dean with the ball out to the right-hand side for MK Dons. It's Crawley voices filling the late night air on this very warm Saturday evening in Milton Keynes. It's been a blisteringly hot day, and it's been a scorching performance from Crawley Town as Dean with a cross can't find Harrison. It's just watched out of play over on that far side by Kellen Gordon, and we're into the last 4 minutes plus whatever is added on at the end of the 90.
Yeah, he's got a big career ahead of him though, Max. He's only 20, I think, so he's a player of potential. He's got a lot of heart and courage, clearly a big personality, and he scored a lot of goals. So I think he might be the sort of player that MK can make some money out of moving forwards.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see the makeup of the MK Dons squad next season. First summer transfer window for Mike Williamson. I think he's earned the right. Dean with the ball into the area, clear behind for a corner. It was Dean waiting actually at the far post to get on the end of that as the cross came in from Tomlinson.
Way to our right, they gave out some red flags, some white flags, didn't they, ahead of kick-off. I think a few of the fans have been waving the white ones for most of the second half.
So have the players, by the way. Corner kick for MK Dons. They're only playing for pride now. It's towards the far post, headed away by Mukinya, and then volley back in by Dean, and the goalkeeper Adai content to watch it behind for a goal kick. 4-1 to Crawley, 7-1 over the 2 games, and we played 87 minutes. You're listening to Talksport 2, your home of the EFL.
Yeah, just wondering what Crew, Lee Bell, their manager, make of this. Obviously, they didn't expect probably to reach the final. I thought Doncaster were nailed on, given how spectacularly they'd ended the campaign. So, they got those 2 early goals, and then they sort of declared Crew and accepted penalties, and they got through on it. But I tell you what, Crew will have to play better than they did it across their 2-legger with Donny against this Crawley team. I would definitely make these favourites.
It's not the final you'd have expected at the start of the playoffs, is it?
And both have been really inconsistent. We talked about it earlier. Crawley have lost 18 games, and Crew went into the playoffs in horrific form, didn't they? They'd hit the wall. So it's kind of unbelievable that they find themselves both at Wembley, but it's all to play for. Lots at stake.
Our own Dean Ashton was amongst the away fans at Donny last night.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah,
started his career, of course, at Cresty Road.
Has he got a Crew shirt? Has he got the replica shirt? Donny's not near where he lives particularly either. That's a big old trek for him.
It's a good show of support, that, from Dino. Sure, there were a couple of beers involved as well. Maybe around the golf en route.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah.
At the moment, Crawley are just knocking the ball around amongst themselves. Nice, lovely pirouette away from Gilby by Jeremy Kelly. All the party tricks coming out here.
He's been good tonight, Jeremy Kelly. Started on the left, he's sort of moved more central. Second half since Williams went off, and was really at home in there. I mean, in midfield, they have just tormented the white shirts of MK Dons all game long, haven't they?
Liam Kelly plays it back to Comroy in the heart of that Crawley defence. Again, the Olays ringing out in that away end. Liam Kelly now dropping deep into his own half. Crawley leading by 4 goals to 1, 7-1 on aggregate. Just about as comfortable a playoff semi-final victory as you will see.
Yeah, haven't had to extend themselves, been able to rest a few players second half. No extra time, of course. Crew went to the full 120 minutes, didn't they? So, look, you have to say kind of the preparation for the final has been better for Crawley. But look, it's a one-off. It's a one-off game. It's who handles that occasion best, isn't it, underneath the arch?
Here's Dean trying to make space for a shot on the edge of the area. Had his pocket picked by Jeremy Kelly, and Crawley can break away now. Darcy's made it run up in support of Horsey, but they're not in any great hurry. McKenna to get it forward. He goes back into his own half instead of, we've got 30 seconds of normal time to play. All eyes on the fourth official. I think both sets of players hoping only a minute or two will be added for very different reasons, of course. Here's Darcy. Don't think we're going to be seeing any lap of honour tonight from MK Dons.
Well, look, I actually think they probably should still. You know, there won't be many people here for it, but, you know, at the end of a season, I think they will want to go and thank their supporters. And I think, you know, a section of their support will want to go and thank them for, you know, for what's been a largely excellent season. It's just gone horribly wrong in the playoff semi-final. So they deserve a round of applause.
4 minutes of additional time here on Talksport 2. Crawley have the ball inside their own penalty area. Adai plays it out to the left, and Lawrence Maguire. And then Maguire gets it back from Comroy, his captain, and almost played Adai into trouble. Dean kicks the post in frustration as he went to close the keeper down, and Adai calmly knocks it away from him.
I reckon Adai is one of the best players in the keep ball sessions, don't you? I mean, he looks a good passer to me.
He looks a real character as well. Here's Liam Kelly. Is there one final cherry on the cake for Crawley? Kelly into the penalty area, out to Cerula, back to Kelly. Can he get a shot away? No. Comes for Darcy, and he balloons his effort high over the bar. That would have been the grand finale as far as Crawley are concerned, but not to be on this occasion.
No, he was nowhere near finding the target. There's shot 8. It's only the second shot they've failed to hit the target with tonight. They've been so efficient. Crawley Town, yeah, MK Dons, you know, the stats say that they've had 11 shots, 5 on target, but
it's been much more dominant than that.
Yeah, they've never really been in this game.
Ball flicked on towards Horsey, trying to put Tucker under pressure. Not a great clearance away by Tucker. Continuing his poor night, Cerula into the area. Rolls it out to Darcy. Darcy for Horsey! Bundles it in from point-blank range. It's a hat-trick for Danilo Horsey. And the grandstand finish on this historic night for Crawley Town. It is 5-1, 8-1 on aggregate. And Danilo Horsey has the match ball.
It's a fantastic 5 for Crawley Town. And Danilo Horsey, I mean, he has chested it in from, I would say, 1 yard out. It's not a glamorous strike, but a hat-trick in a playoff semi-final on the road to seal a trip to Wembley. Does it get much better than that? I don't think so. And he will be a key man, won't he, at Wembley against Crewe Alexandra next weekend. This has been rampant from Crawley. Just magnificent.
I'm not sure anybody inside this stadium, or those watching and listening, can quite believe what's unfolded here. One of the all-time great playoff performances?
Yeah, I would say so. Over 2 legs. Yeah, I mean, 8-1 is it's just amazing. And then just seeing some of the MK fans there. It was a bit of trouble at the top of the stand there. But yeah, they're heading away now with their tails between their legs, the MK fans. It's been a nightmare evening, hasn't it? Pretty much from minute 3 when they gifted a goal to the visitors. From that moment on, they've been broken.
Ellis Harrison plays it into the penalty area. Oh, and it's a brilliant save from Adai. He made himself big and he turns the shot from Tesgel onto the crossbar.
Tesco could have had a couple. What a save that is. It's kind of with his forearm. It's a reflex save at his near post. This keeper is decent, and I think that the big stage next Sunday might just suit him.
The 4 added minutes are almost up. MK Dons nearly out of their misery. As the referee shows a yellow card, there's another flare up over on the far side. The home players in danger of losing their heads. It was a late challenge on McQuainer.
Yeah,
is it
Gilby?
Gilby? I think
it's Gilby.
Booking, yeah,
it's a desperate challenge. It's rugby tackle, isn't it? Just pulls him back by the shirt. No, it's Dean. It's Dean.
Of course it is.
How am I not surprised? I mean, he's tracking back. You know, in fairness to him, 95th minute, there he is tracking back. But yeah, it's a horrible tackle.
We're going to score in a minute. Sing the Crawley fans, and it feels like they could, you know, even though time is almost up. As the full-time whistle blows, it is a historic night for Crawley Town. For the first time in their history, the West Sussex Minnows are heading for Wembley, and they are heading there in 5-star fashion. 3-0 up from the first leg. They have absolutely annihilated Milton Keynes Dons. Danilo Orsi, the hat-trick hero. Goals as well for Jay Williams to kick it all off, and for Jack Rolls. Corey Adai, the goalkeeper, who is making quite the name for himself, played his part, saving Max Dean's penalty, denying Milton Keynes a route back into the game after Dean had scored in first half stoppage time. But this night belongs to Crawley Town.
Yeah, it's their night. It's their semi-final. They have produced the best football they've delivered all season when it mattered most, and that will fill Scott Lindsay and his staff with so much pride. He was reserved, he was magnanimous in victory there, just calmly went across to Mike Williamson, who just must want the floor to open up, and he's nice and calm, and he knows that as brilliant as they've been, they still haven't achieved their mission. The mission is of course promotion, but this display across the 2 legs was almost out of this world. Just so good, and it takes them to Wembley with so much confidence.
Well, you can hear the boos in the background. The MK Dons players are doing a sort of half-hearted lack of appreciation, but you can hear the jeers and the wolf whistles from the home supporters. It's a bitterly disappointing end to the season for Mike Williamson's side.
Oh, I don't like that. It's been a tough season. They finished 4th. They won so many games. They produced so many entertaining matches. I get why they're gutted. I get booing at certain points, maybe at the final whistle, but when the players come over to thank you for their support, I just think, just don't boo. You don't have to clap. There's no obligation, but don't throw it back at them. The players know that they haven't performed over these 2 legs. They don't need reminding.
Well, you certainly can't say that about their Crawley counterparts. Those red-shirted heroes celebrate with the 1,600 travelling fans. There will be 2 sets of Red Devils at Wembley at the end of the season, and who knows, one of them might even win. Finishes here. MK Dons 1, Crawley 5, 8-1 on aggregate. They will play Crewe in the League 2 playoff final live on Talksport 2 next Sunday And next up here, the live sport continues with the PGA Tour. It's the Wells Fargo Championship at the Quail Hollow Golf and Country Club.